of the different thought that exist in people relative to their experience. Letting the dogs out, allowing your expectations to chase your passions so that we can what? Develop the courage to fulfill our dreams. Well, you instigated her and she let the dogs out. She just told you flat out, you people are never satisfied what we tried to do for you. It sounded like we were some children in Target wanting something to eat. As soon as she bought us some candy, then we turned around and asked for juice. As soon as she got that, we wanted donuts. So there is still a parent-child relationships that exists in many minds of Americans relative to black people. There are many orientations that they have that really have a paternal orientation, that much of our concerns and our displeasures are infantile, immature, and unappreciative. And so that's in orientation. And so it becomes incumbent upon us to raise the bar. It is so important for us to raise the bar for ourselves so that two things don't happen. One, that we don't feel like that as individuals and people. And two, we don't communicate from a very childlike, from a very subservient orientation. Because much of how people see you is driven by how you see yourself. And so we often, whether we like it or not, portray a dependent role. We portray a dependent attitude. We portray a dependent expectations. So now we've set up a dichotomy where we are treated like we're acting. And then we say, but I'm an adult, respect me. Well, in order for that to happen, you've got to raise the bar of yourself. It happens with children relative to their parents. Many times parents don't want to see their children as adults. And it's incumbent upon the child to execute his life now that he's 25 years old as an adult and behave like an adult and make decisions like an adult so he can be respected like an adult. Because if you have those kind of parents, the only way you're going to get it is by you demonstrating it. So it's the same thing whether it's a parent-child relationship, whether it's a spousal relationship, or whether it's a community with many different cultures inside of it as exists in America. The dominant culture is not going to have real respect for any subordinates in terms of size, number, economic, education, attitude, and capacity to propel until you demonstrate that in yourself and you expect nothing less from yourself. So therefore you can expect nothing less from others, and then they subsequently change. Many times we don't understand that and we don't focus on what we want. So we begin to spend a lot of time being agitated, irritated, unfulfilled, unhappy, and disoriented because we are focused on what we don't want. And whenever we're focusing on what we don't want, we magnetize the capacity for others to give us the very thing we do not want. And so we've got to change on the inside when we begin to allow our expectations to chase our passions. We get unbridled inside. We get courageous inside. We get brave inside. We get demanding of ourselves inside. It becomes such a natural process that it flows from us to others. And then the water table of equality begins to exist because of how we've exerted ourselves and how we have demonstrated a capacity to be, to do, and to have as an individual, as a community, and as a group collectively. Over to you, Ken. We'd like to thank you for tuning in to today's morning inspirational message. We hope you've been able to glean some of what we've said as it relates to allowing your expectations to chase your passions. Because until you truly allow your expectations to chase your passions, you won't develop the courage to fulfill your dreams. See, belief in self is such a key factor as it relates to accomplishing, as it relates to fulfillment, as it relates to pursuing, as it relates to believing. That is a very, very important part of that process, and you've got to engage. You've got to emotionally engage in that belief, psychologically engage in that belief, spiritually see yourself in a way that no others on the outside may have ever looked at you and saw you. Make manifest who you are on the inside, come out on the outside, regardless of who's looking, who's seeing, and who's believing. Never hold yourself ransom to someone else's perception of you. I want to say that again. Never hold yourself ransom to someone else's perception of you. And when you begin to only use yourself as the bar and you commit yourself to raising the bar, then it will naturally flow into others, because your perception of yourself is not contingent on how they see you. Your perception of self cannot be diminished in how you are seen. Your perception of yourself cannot be locked into how they used to see you when you were a certain age, or when you were a certain educational background, or when you were in a certain situation. See, sometimes people see you in a situation where you are less than stellar, and their comfort zone was built off of that. And when you rise to a level of strength, durability, courage, maturity, capability, and capacity, sometimes that unnerves other people because they're used to seeing you in that diminutive light. And if you need their authorization, you never get to who you are. But when you cease to need the authorization of others to give you definition and purpose, then you compel the rest of the world to see you like you are, and you get to be very indifferent on how you're perceived by them, because it doesn't matter to you, because it's how you perceive yourself. We'd like you to call a friend or a family member and really begin to have this topic with them, really begin to have this discussion with them, really begin to evaluate whether you are allowing your expectations to chase your passions from the orientation of others who you respect their opinion see you. See, a lot of times how we see ourselves and how others see us may not be the same. And a lot of times our own perception can be jaded. A lot of times it can be correct, but it helps to bounce it off of someone else so that you can have an alternate view to reevaluate and reconfigure how you see yourself. The beauty of this is you can plug into this medium, you can revisit this message. You have a 5-part session that started in Monday and culminates with today to revisit what you've heard, what you've thought, what you've listened to, the questions that are stimulated in your mind, and the transformation that has taken place as a result of it. Take a moment to log into our YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel. Log in. Leave a message. Leave a comment. Express your concerns. And really begin to use what you see, what you have learned, what you understand to expand and elevate and increase the dimensions of your orientation and your perception of yourself and of the world. Because when you do that, you will then produce, you will then amass, you will then create solutions for the very obstacles and problems that confront your life. And then you will have the capacity to be able to have those solutions to begin to give you the problem-solving techniques to make those new things happen in the way that you desire. We look forward to bringing you this message of optimism, this message of growth, this message of positive expectations, and this message of expansion. Why? Because you must believe in you. I believe in you. Believe in yourself, and let's believe in each other and watch us create. Watch us grow. Watch us change. Watch us expand. Watch us become the people that no other people thought we could become, because we had positive expectations of ourselves. We had an optimistic orientation that no matter how organizationally we were obese, no matter how culturally we have allowed ourselves to become stagnant, our optimism and our positive expectations enables us to transform the blight, the things that don't go right in our world, our community, and make them blossom in the beauty. That comes from optimism, believing in yourselves, believing in your family, believing in your peers, believing in your community, seeing the unseen. Positive expectations. What do you expect from yourself? What do you expect from those around you? What do you expect from the environment that you have created? What is your expectations? Are you optimistic that they in fact can create? That your vision can in fact become, in spite of the fact that you may not see or have or know how to get the resources to make it become. Growth will then take place when you begin to embrace your capacity to. Growth will take place when you say to yourself, yes, I can. Growth will take place in you when you say, I am. Growth will take place when you say, I will. When you begin to embrace optimism and you begin to make proclamations to yourself that are positive, and when you begin to give yourself a new allegiance to change, transformation, growth, and ascending, then you'll begin to see those things reflected in your growth, and they'll be reflected in the canals of prosperity that are coming to you because you change the way you think. See, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So change how you see deprivation and the absence of to the abundance of and the fulfillment of, and those canals will start bringing that prosperity to make that happen to you. Have a great and fantastic day. Go out and make your life free, make it happy, and make it fulfilled. And touch the lives of others. See yourself with the Midas touch. See yourself with the glow. See yourself with emitting and transmitting the spirit and power of God in your touch. The touch of your words, the touch of your smile, the touch of your beliefs in yourself and your belief in others. And watch that power get brighter and brighter, bigger and bigger, expand more and more, and growth will begin to take place, because when two or more come together, multiplication takes place. This is your friend and brother, Brother Tambuzi, saying, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.